Man, if you could have any LE that you could want, I think it would be on this list that we're about to put out.
Today we're going to talk about the 5 most reliable limited edition bourbon that come out every year.
Welcome back to another edition of Bourbon Kingdom. I'm David.
And I'm Zach.
And today we're going to talk about the world's most reliable LEs.
Yeah. So,
or something like that.
Here's
anyway.
the thing. I look, before you start typing in all the hate, just hear us out. The reason why we want to do this video is because every year we get emails, we get text messages, Facebook messages, Instagram, everything.
Yeah.
Hey, I have the option to get this, or I have the option to get this or this.
Yeah.
Or I'm in line, they have these 10 bottles and I'm number 4, what should I pick and order?
Yeah.
And so we try our best to help best we can.
Yeah.
And what I always tell people is get whatever you want at the end of the day. Like, my opinion doesn't matter, his opinion doesn't matter. While we're talking about opinions, go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, notifications button.
Because we like to hear your opinions.
We do like to hear your opinions.
We do.
But these are 5 different lines, and thankfully they all come from a different distillery. So that worked out really well. I didn't even plan on that. They rarely miss.
Yeah.
There has been some that you would say, that's not my favorite, but still really good. Where there's others like, and we were just talking about this actually, so like Parker's.
Yeah.
So Parker's have just put out a lot of really great hits here recently.
Yep.
And even if you didn't like the wheater that they came out with, the heavy char wheat, which wasn't everybody's favorite, but I know a lot of people still enjoyed it a whole lot.
I enjoyed that one a whole lot.
You can start to go back like to Orange Carousel.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't like that one.
Yeah.
So my point being is, even with something as great as the Parker's line is, you can still have misses.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's the reason why we're doing the video. I understand there will be people who won't have the ability to hit some of these, but maybe you can trade into it. Maybe you're going to look to buy that one special bottle.
Yep.
I don't know, but that's why we're trying to do it.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, your budget probably plays into it with all these as well. Like, some of them are more expensive than others.
Yeah.
And you know, your LE allocation will maybe depend on your budget a little bit as well.
Sure, but the good thing is we have really good range in here.
We do have a good range.
I didn't even think about that either.
Yeah, we have a good range in there. So, yeah, I'm excited about this because I do think it's a pretty good list. There's going to be other things out there. There's going to be other things that you can put on this list that would be on yours because you think every year it's really good. So, and
I kind of merged 2 bottles into one section. Let me say one thing. There was one I thought about putting Maker's Mark Cellar's Age, but we've only ever had one of those. Yeah. So since we've only ever had one of those, I was kind of like, I want to say at least a couple.
Yeah, somebody on our Patreon has. If you've been wondering if Bourbon Kingdom was going to do Patreon, well, today is your lucky day. We have officially joined the Patreon world, and so if you have been wondering about that and you want to see what's all happening on our Bourbon Kingdom Patreon page, please click the link in the description and jump over there and see what's going on. The 2024.
Lucky dog, whoever you are.
And dog. He blinded it with against the 23, and he said, "I picked the 24." So
it's gonna be so good.
Yeah. So I don't know how he got it. I don't know. I don't know who
best thing you've ever done.
Yeah.
All right. Also, before we start, these 5 bottles, it's not the exact bottle that we're talking about. It's any year release.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. First one we're going to talk about. 4 Roses, limited edition. To me, you take last year out, it's honestly one of the more easier and affordable, at least to find.
Yep. Between
your, just at MSRP or on the secondary.
I just saw somebody sold them, the 2022s for I think 300.
2022s was the maple profile one.
I'm just saying they sold them for they sold for $300.
Yeah.
So that's only $50 over retail.
These are, you got a ton of age in these blends. The profiles on them are just awesome. This year's is going to be really, really good. I think last year's is still better. The 135th is a monster. It's probably one of the best ones they've ever done. I'm not saying it's the best, but it's one of the best.
Yeah.
And this year, if you go over to Man and Bourbon, myself and Brian, we talk about this year's release in a video.
Yeah.
It's great. I think everybody's going to be really happy with it. I think it's great. So,
and there's a lot of these out there.
Yeah, I mean, this one has 15,000. Yeah, 15,000 bottles.
So there's a bunch out there to be had.
All right, so here's my little caveat. So I did these 2 bottles because I'm kind of cheating with one of them, with the Russell's 15, because technically it's first release, but it's kind of in that realm of Russell's 13 too. Like the same label, everything else. It's just, they proved it a couple years.
Yeah.
So if you kind of combine like the Russell's 13 and the Russell's 15 together, I feel like that's kind of the same. If you don't like that one, then just do the Russell's Single Rick, because these are great.
Yeah, both of those are really good. I mean, it was my last year bourbon of the year, so I can tell you. So I think these are worth having, and these are worth hunting for every single year. These are I think they're consistent. Now, again, there were a couple of the Russell's 13s that weren't our favorite, but they were still good.
But they were still really good.
Yeah,
yes,
they were still good. And all that stuff. And so, we've talked about this till we're blue in the face. The only thing that we don't ever like about Russell's is the price.
No, the price sucks.
Yeah.
But the good thing is about the Single Rick is I think I just seen one nationally go for like $400 the other day, and these are retail $350.
Yeah.
So if you're really that upset about it, just think of it like this: you're basically buying one off secondary, and you're basically paying for shipping with that $50.
Yeah.
So I mean, it sucks. I get it, but at the same time, you're getting one of the best whiskeys.
Yeah. So our first 2, honestly, our first 3 that are going to come through here, the secondary market on them is not crazy. And I'm not that I'm advocating or not advocating.
The next one can get a little bit more high.
Yeah, it can.
Not compared to the last 2. Yeah. Last 2.
But generally speaking, like if you miss out on the launch, the drop or whatever with them, they can be had at a reasonable price. That's the thing that I'm more saying. So
next one is William Heaven Hill. Now, here's the one little caveat, and we can make this argument. This is Kentucky only. You're basically only going to find this at the distillery. Some years there'll be more out, like at some liquor stores, but for the most part, you're only going to find them at the distillery.
Yeah.
So there is some issues trying to find it. With that said, I think you could argue that the William Heaven Hills are consistently better than the Parkers. Now,
yes, I would agree with that.
There might be some Parkers that are better.
Yeah.
Overall, like if you had to do a ranking of all of them, you can maybe argue some Parkers.
Yeah.
I haven't had all of them, and I haven't had all the William Heaven Hills. I imagine the Hazmat William Heaven Hill is just beautiful.
It probably is.
I imagine it's one of the greatest things ever.
Yeah.
With that being said, I just think that this is one of the most slept on LEs out there. If you're looking to trade, if you are looking to come into Kentucky and you can get one of these in some way, shape, form, I think hunting for them, like this year people are down on it because it's going to be a bottle and bond. Everybody's like, it's only going to be 100 proof. After at 15 and 17 year, how's it going to be? And what's funny is everybody said the same thing about the bottle and bond. I think it was like a 13 year.
Yeah.
The orange label one.
Yeah. And it's really good.
I told everybody, it's still really good.
Yeah.
And then once it kind of left, everybody's like, man, that was really good.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I had one of those still.
I'm sure you do.
And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it was good then, just as well as now.
Yeah.
All right, our last 2, and these are going to be a little bit more in the price range. Like, these are going to be harder.
Yeah.
But whenever...
But again, if you find this retail somewhere, you're paying $120 for it.
I think it's like $190 now.
Oh, really?
No, well, let me take it back. You actually might be right. I think I seen one of these. Where was it? It was like some grocery store. I think they had them like 180, 190. It wasn't anywhere around here. It was.
I think
you're right.
I think Evergreen is probably 180.
Well, they won't sell these.
they will sell them, but just
not the WLWs.
yeah.
But yeah,
I'm just saying. But these are
yeah.
But the whole BTAC line are the same price essentially in the
yes, I think so.
in the upper thing. So I'm saying
no, I think you're right though. I think what I seen was somebody raised the price a little bit.
Yeah.
I think what you're saying is more correct.
So 120 to 150, whatever you want to say, somewhere in there. So as far as the LE, like this is the cheapest one on the thing.
Yeah.
From an LE perspective, of all of them that we dropped, this is the cheapest one.
That's crazy. That's hilarious.
On a retail basis.
In certain years, this is the more expensive one on the secondary.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I'm in a little bourbon chat and we argue sometimes what's better, WLW or GTS. Go ahead and put in the comments below which one you like more, if it's GTS or WLW. There's really not a wrong answer.
There's not, but the
man,
right answer is probably WLW when it's right. When it's right,
hits so hard.
Yeah, it does.
It's one of those, like, you know, and people will argue I could have 2 GTSs for 1 WLW. Fine, we can argue that. But I think this is such a special bottle. I think it's one of the best things that Buffalo Trace does, if not the best thing. GTS can sometimes be the best thing.
Yeah.
But overall,
yeah, I agree. I think,
and they're not as gettable as GTS.
They're not. They are much harder to get.
But in some weird way, they're not. They are also still available. They're not like Eagle Rare 17, Sazerac 18.
Right.
So.
And I'll just go ahead and let you guess what the last one's going to be.
Can you hear
that? Did you guess already? All right. And you would be correct.
Yeah.
If you have been at this channel at all for any amount of time, you know that for both of us, this is his favorite, hands down. It's year to year, this is his favorite. This is the one he hunts the most. For me, I like it a lot. It's not my favorite. As a matter of fact, I would probably, if of our list, I would probably rather have the William Heaven Hill or the WLW over this. But that's just me. These are always good.
Well, let me say this. I think there's going to be a bunch of people that would sit out there and say, I'd rather have a WLW than a King Kentucky. It's 2 different profiles. The William Heaven Hill, though, it's a hot take.
Yeah, but
I get it.
They hit my profiles just perfectly.
I get it.
And this definitely has the brown form, and like it's got that. It packs a punch on the front end most of the time.
Sure. Well,
and not everybody loves that. And you know, I opened it. Yeah, I like it too. I opened this at Christmas time 2 years ago and let my family drink it. And you would have thought I was giving them gasoline. They were like, "What?
Who took it worse between Chris or Cam?"
Chris took it the worst.
Yeah.
It was really, really hot to him. So
that sounds bad.
Cam wouldn't admit that. He'd be like,
he would just shed a tear and just.
Can I put some ice on that?
Yeah. Coca-Cola.
Yeah, please put some soda in there. So anyway, I think all in all, these are good, and I will be hunting after this too because it is solid every single year.
And this is also probably the second hardest thing on the list because these are only available in 3 states. I think it's Kentucky, Ohio, and Illinois.
Yeah.
But you know, again, these are things like it's just rare to have a King Kentucky that misses.
Yeah.
This is an off-profile one. Like the one that we reviewed last year had so much more oak and fruit. On it. It was just so off-profile, and it was still great.
Yeah.
Like that was the fun thing about it is it was still legitimately great.
Yep. All right. Well, tell us what would be on your LE list. We love to hear that stuff. And until the next time,
we'll see you.
We'll see you.